Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining Jeff and I today. We've got some interesting things coming up in October. So the word austerity has come up a few times, and that brings a little bit of question to the market and I guess investor portfolios,
Well,
right?
it brings deja vu, doesn't it? Because it reminds me of remember the pigs crisis with Europe about
Mhm.
10, 15 years ago? And the word austerity was so closely tied to Greece. And the Prime Minister himself said that this October's budget in the House of Commons will include austerity. So
Yeah.
we wanted to write about it.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting for everyone. And there's a lot of comparison between Paul Martin when he was the Minister of Finance back in the 1990s compared to Mark Carney today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting comparison and I find it fascinating because I read a lot of the newspapers and I never hear Paul Martin's name mentioned all that much. But in the last 2 to 3 weeks, I keep seeing comparisons between Carney and Martin. And it's interesting because leading up to 1995, the S&P Standard and Poor's downgraded Canada's debt by one notch, and Moody's downgraded us twice. And even the Wall Street Journal said that Canada was becoming a banana republic. And so in the
Mhm.
1995 budget, Paul Martin included huge spending cuts, billions and billions of dollars. And if we see that again in October, actually, I don't think we will see it again in October because they're just kind of shifting things around. But you never know until the budget is read, right?
Mhm.
But
Right.
it's just fascinating because we wanted to see how did the Loonie perform the last time Canada had an austerity budget.
So do you think the investors should be making the adjustment there too, just in case there is a stairway?
Well, I
Mhm.
think it depends how much how many foreign securities you own. Okay, so I mean, with us, we were asked by a prospect a couple weeks ago, are you heavily Canadian? And proudly, I said yes because we buy stocks that are not followed very closely. And the TSX has lots and lots of securities. We only have to own 25 of them. And so we follow the ones that are underfollowed, and we feel we can get a great return for clients. But many other money managers own a lot of US stocks, especially over the last 10 years. People have migrated into foreign markets. And so if we see an austerity budget in October, let's just presume the Loonie does the same thing the next 6 months as it did in 1995. We saw the Loonie go up 3.5%. Doesn't seem like a lot, but over the last 10 years, international investors have not been looking at Canada because Trudeau and he wasn't favored at all. Mark Carney is
Mhm.
a totally different person. And so if we start to see more international investment return to Canada, we could see the Loonie go significantly higher. I remember seeing the Loonie go from 70 cents in 2008 to par in 2010. I'm not saying it goes to par again, but I'm just saying you don't want to take a lot of currency risk if it's not something you're following because to own a stock denominated in US dollars that's 70 cents Canadian, it goes to par. I mean, that's like what is that? Like a 40% loss in the value of your investment? So that's pretty substantial. So all we're saying is you want to keep an eye on currency. And right now I
Right.
really think the wind is in Canada's sails because we have a new leader in Ottawa. He's much more business friendly than his predecessor. And if you look at historical precedent, and you see how the Loonie did under Paul Martin when he was cutting spending because the deficit was too large, you saw international investors take a more favorable approach to Canada, and the Loonie went up.
Right. So I guess the takeaway would be if you're at all interested in looking at your currency risk in your current portfolio, you might want to give us a call.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
We can give you a sensitivity analysis. Say if the Loonie goes here, how much would you lose? Loonie goes here, how much would you lose? And it's up to you if that's too much risk, right?
yeah, yeah. All right. Thanks, Jeff. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks,
Okay,
honey.
bye.